Hey everyone, Gage here with Pickleball Effect, and today we're going to be taking a look at these paddles from GRUVN. These got pretty popular after the carbon ban. We saw a couple pros pick them up, and ever since then I've been wanting to give them a try. So I've got the Raw-16R shorter version and also the Raw-16H elongated version. I've been playing with them about 2 weeks now, so here's my review on their performance.
I really enjoyed playing with both the Raw-16H and the Raw-16R GRUVN paddles. The first thing I noticed when I took them out of the box is that they felt very high quality. When you try a new brand that's not super recognized as a top name brand, you kind of wonder what kind of quality you're going to get. However, these seem to be very nicely made paddles. I want to talk about how they both played individually, so let's start with the Raw-16R. The Raw-16R is a wide body shaped paddle. It's just over 15.5 inches long, and 5.5 of those inches are part of the handle. It actually has a really long handle for how short the paddle is. Typically, you're not going to see anything over 5 inches for a wide body paddle like this, but this handle allowed me to get a little bit more whip than I usually do with the shorter, wider body paddles. It's 16 millimeters thick and the face is carbon fiber. Because of the carbon fiber face mixed with the thicker core, I was able to really feel the paddle grab the ball and generate a solid amount of spin. It didn't have any more spin than any other raw carbon fiber paddles I've played, but it is definitely going to give you more than any other type of face would. The paddle was extremely easy to control. The sweet spot was very consistent throughout the whole paddle, and it was also super soft, so I really didn't have any trouble dialing in my thirds, resets, or dinks. I would definitely categorize this paddle as a control paddle and would recommend it to anyone who wants some added forgiveness and touch, but also wants a longer handle for increased maneuverability and more room for two-handed shots. Anyone who gives this paddle a try will most likely see an improvement in their soft game. The main downside to the 16R is that it's a bit tough to attack with. As I mentioned before, it's very soft, so attacks from the baseline and midcourt were weaker, and trying to overpower your opponents when they were playing defense from the baseline was harder. The only other downside is that it's really short. The short design has its advantages with the soft game and forgiveness, but it has its drawbacks when trying to generate offense at the net. I think an extra half inch would have opened up some opportunities on the attacking side of things and made it a better paddle all around. I think true wide body paddles like this are getting less popular because of the lack of attacking options that they give. With all that being said, I really would recommend this paddle to anyone looking to get a forgiving, wide body shaped paddle. It's probably my favorite wide body shaped paddle that I've played with. I'd recommend it over similar paddles like the YOLO Radius. Now onto the Raw-16H. This paddle was very interesting. First of all, the paddle's 16.5 inches long, so it's an elongated paddle, but what makes it so interesting is its extremely long handle at 5.875 inches. The majority of long-handled paddles fall between 5.25 and 5.5 inches, so that tells you how long this one really is. The long handle definitely gives you a ton of whip on your drives, which is super helpful for being offensive, but it was also kind of hard to adjust to because it throws off the timing of your swing a bit. I'm someone who typically enjoys a slightly shorter handle. I did let one of my 5.0 buddies play with this paddle, and he was absolutely obsessed with it. He felt like he could whip and flick with this paddle better than any other paddle he had ever played with. Just like the shorter version, this paddle is also 16 millimeters thick and has a raw carbon fiber face. This gave the paddle great control and a very solid amount of spin as well. The paddle had more spin than the shorter version, most likely due to the extra whip you were getting because of the long handle and elongated shape. This one had a similar soft feel as the other shape offered, though my soft game didn't come quite as quickly with it because my timing was off with the extra length. It wasn't as forgiving as the 16R overall, but it was still forgiving for an elongated shape. Attacking with this paddle was extremely easy and fun. The paddle can generate a ton of spin and whip on your drives from the baseline. It seems to shape the ball a little bit differently than any other paddle I've played with, which is really cool. It's also great for attacking volleys out of the air at the kitchen line because it's so long and so easy to flick. You could generate more power with it compared to the 16R, but it was still generally a soft paddle, and I'd consider it a control paddle, though it has more attacking capabilities because of its extra long handle and long shape. I would recommend it to any player who likes a longer handle. I think it would be a great fit for any decent tennis player transitioning over to pickleball. If you can learn to control this paddle with its unique long handle, I think you'll be able to hit all of the shots necessary to be successful at the highest level of pickleball. One last thing I wanted to mention is the overgrips that come on the paddles. The 16R came with a stitched grip, and the 16H came with a 3D perforated cushion grip. The stitched grip has some ridges that are very comfortable for your hand to fit in. Some people really like that while others don't. Seems like there's not really much of an in-between. The 3D perforated cushion grip has a similar feel to a basic overgrip, but with a little bit more cushion. I think both of these are honestly solid grips. If you know you liked the stitched grip, I would stick with that, but if you aren't quite sure, I would play it safe and go for the cushion grip. Overall, I really liked these paddles and feel confident recommending them. They offer several shapes, but they are all non-standard shapes that fit niche needs, so they won't suit everybody. That's all I got for you today. Really hope it helps.